And God just literally say, Wiley, be you. There's nobody like you. And I said, you know what? I got to be Wiley. All right. I got to be me. All right. Because there's nobody like me. And soon as this day came, let's get into these topics. Now, I'm going to be me, and I know I'm going to get blocked, but it's okay. Let's bring her up in the docket here, because I just got to be me. And moderators, don't block. Please don't block, because I want them to come in, because I'm going to say something. And we're going to be talking about LaTocha, and we're going to be talking about her, this whole liar spirit. And when you are a liar, you can't even keep up with the lies. First and foremost, LaTocha, you are supposed to be a woman of God. You want to do a gospel album. Number one, your foundation is set up on a lie. Number one, your husband is a cheater, and your husband have cheated on you. Then you trying to cover up his cheating lying ways and say, oh, we just have an open relationship, because you don't want to look like a weak, pathetic wife that is being controlled by your husband. And you just going to come, oh, you don't have the open relationship. And if it is open, your husband is doing all the opening other people puss, and you ain't out here. Because if it truly was an open relationship, how many dudes are you sleeping with and sleeping with and riding with and getting pregnant by? It ain't no open relationship. Most women that's in a mental abuse relationship, a controlling relationship, to help them sleep better, they would say, well, I have an open relationship. Technically, what they're saying is my husband is open and I'm closed. Like, it ain't no truly an open relationship. So sit down with that lie. And the thing about it is, when I look at your gospel album, I said, first and foremost, the reason why it ain't selling, the reason why it ain't number one on the Billboard charts, because it's based on a lie. You would come out right and say, saints, pray for me. I did steal from my sister. I stole the $30,000. I stole the $40,000. I needed the money. My husband needed it. He cashed the checks. We did it. Pray for me. I lied. I'm asking y'all to forgive me and ask for repentance. And then maybe you will have sympathy. But sitting there lying, and then you had the audacity with your stinking tail to sit there and cry. And get up, oh my God, I love my sister, and we just need to talk about it. And then you went over there and talked to the brat, and how she said you were mean and nasty, and you tried to cover it up like you were so nice to the brat, and brat was like, no, y'all was real mean and nasty to her. You're being exposed, and then you got a weak husband. And I told y'all, we've been preaching a sermon about these weak men that's leading you to damnation and to the pits of hell. Now, here your husband supposed to be PR and supposed to be so involved in the industry. He got you doing interviews, just lying and crying, looking like a plump fool. Sister, let me tell you something. You need to leave that husband alone and get you a real PR team that can sit down with you, that's working with Black China and doing really well, because your husband is leading you down to the pits of hell. You need people that's in the gospel industry that know how to handle a crisis. Your husband don't know how to handle it, number one, because he can't even keep his peen under subjection. He too busy sleeping with other women. He too busy trying to go with other members in the group, and he's bringing you down. You need to let him go and focus on your career. You know why that album have not sold and why it have not went number one on the gospel Billboard charts? Because the church don't want to deal with you. Number one, it's too much mess. It's too much drama, too much lying, too much backbiting, too much your mama going crazy, your sister, she crying, you up there crying, Kandi calling you out, she crying. It's just all built on mess. And then we can't even focus on your music because you're not even talking about your gospel album. You're not even talking about your conversation with God. You're too busy talking about the $30,000 that you said you don't know. And then you talk about how they didn't call your number, but you changed your number because your mama said that you needed some peace. So it's just a whole bunch of garbage. Ain't nobody asked you about the conversation with God. They keep on asking because you ain't, you've been in this industry for decades, but you don't know how to shift conversation. A real trained person that is trained like Beyonce, and they used to call it a house of the Matthew Knowles media training. You got to know how to shift the conversation. First and foremost, I want to talk about my album, The Conversation with God. I have issues with my sister, but this album, we're going to dive into the conversation of God. I'm going through many times if you get into this gospel industry, the enemy want to act up. Did I steal my sister money? Yes, I was going through how many of I stole. I've stole from her. I did it. And I've asked her from my sister forgiveness and move on. And then it won't be a story no more. You take it away, we will move on. But the more you lie and the more your husband getting exposed, and then your husband had mentioned Tasha K, why in the heaven and the hell are you mentioning a black woman, Tasha K, that got sued by Cardi B in an interview because all she gonna do is reach out to all the side chicks that is thirsty for a click and a view and record them and bring it all out there. If what Tasha K did to you was so illegal, sue her. But obviously what she did was telling the truth and exposing you, and you decide to go on your live and say, well, Tasha K recorded me and she did it without my permission, and that gave Tasha K and all her minions, okay, Tasha, let's release some more recordings. Let's expose it on the app. Let's expose him some more. So it doesn't make any sense. And you know what we ain't talking about today? The conversation with God. We ain't talking about her album. We ain't talking about this sister album that she got that's going to drop on Good Friday. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't talking about that album. We ain't talking about Tasha album. The invitation, a conversation with God. We too busy talking about mess. Put God first. The reason why that album ain't selling, because you ain't putting him first. You're not sincere. Yet you want to sell gospel music because that was the only industry that gave you a deal. It ain't sincere. That's why they ain't selling. That's why they ain't on the gospel charts, number one. It should be, that's why when you say I'm yours ain't selling. Afraid ain't selling. Stay with me ain't selling. None of those songs ain't selling because you use the focus away from that. You too busy talking about SWV. That ain't no gospel related. You talking about your sister, ain't gospel related. You talking about you being in an open relationship. That ain't gospel related. How is that the conversation with God? When are we going to get into that album? When are we going to get into that vocal? You keep saying you want to sing, but you keep responding and lying. You would have just came out quiet, just not responding. And then we would have moved on. But the more we responded, because you know you've been exposed, because ever since your sister Tamika's exposed your lies on her platform and brought Tiny Mother on there to expose you as well, you have been going deeper, deeper, deeper in a hole. Then you went on Ricky Smiley, which was a mistake because you got the brat, she pregnant and she messy and she's a lesbian. Anybody know anything about lesbian? They're real messy and they don't forget and they will get you together. If you try to go tit for tat with a lesbian, especially a lesbian that is a more manly type of figure, she came in there and she exposed how you were mean and nasty. That didn't help you at all. That didn't help you at all. You did all of this, and then you had the audacity to say, well, Kandi, I didn't know you were sad. Oh, now you want to break down in tears. What in the Tyler Perry play are you doing? This is just bad on top of bad. I said, what? And she got the audacity to cry? Cry for what? You lied. That crying would have meant something, and it would have sent shockwaves to say, you know what? When your music playing in the background, say, you know what? I lied, Saints. I did. I lied. And I don't want to go to hell for this lie. I stole from my sister. Me and my husband did it. We stole from her. We did it. We stole from her. It's been exposed. And I from the heart, I apologize. We gave her money back and 100-fold plus interest. Y'all, I'm asking for y'all forgiveness. Please pray for me as we work through this family thing and move on. But you too busy trying to cover up your lie with more lies. And that's why you looking out here looking crazy. You looking out here looking crazy. Your husband looking out here looking crazy. He is a bad publicist, a bad mouthpiece, because he's too busy putting his mouth on other women yonis. So he's already compromised. He's compromised, and you all need to repent. And that's why your gospel album ain't selling. That's why ain't nobody rushing to buy the conversation with God. They ain't rushing because you don't know how to deal with controversy. You give controversy with more controversy, and you're supposed to give God, put God first. Let God be your foundation. Anybody know when you're trying to make it in the gospel industry, God, spiritual. And that's why Kelly Price never made it because she mean and nasty, can't keep a man, and mean to her sister. That's why her gospel career never took off the ground. And LaTocha, you doing the same thing. You supposed to be spiritual, supposed to be humble, doing scriptures, preaching, going to church, getting baptized, getting on the altar, calling on Jesus, asking for forgiveness. You ain't doing that. You ain't doing none of that. You too busy lie. And every lie you keep telling, your album ain't going nowhere. Ain't selling nowhere. Okay? It ain't selling nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't number one. It ain't number one at all. You too busy trying to pick fights with your group members. Appreciate the blessings that you have with Escape, because the only reason why you got a gospel deal is because of the success of Escape and because of the success of Kandi. Your biggest hits is because Kandi sang lead. That is a fact. For you to try to trash her voice was nasty, wasn't godly, wasn't spiritual, it wasn't holy. And I know you didn't have a conversation with God. You had a conversation with the devil. Because that behavior is you talking to the devil, picking up his traits. If you had a conversation with God, if you went on a fast, you would not be criticizing your sisters that got you the opportunity to stand in Motown to have an album because of the success of Escape. You did not talk about God at all. You talking to the devil. And your husband too busy putting his demon seed in all of these other women. And then telling them to abort the children. That's why that album, because it's based on death. Anytime you tell women and you use abortion as a form of birth control, you evil. You're no different than a person go in a school and take out people. You're no different. You are the same person that does the Parkland situation. You are the same person like the women that went into that church. You are no different than people that goes in there and using it as a form of birth control and tell them, well, just get rid of it. And you're going to pay for that. David paid for it. You're going to pay for it. That ain't cool. That ain't godly. That conversation with God, he ain't gonna tell you to do stuff like that. Cheat on your wife and then get rid of the pregnancy. Get rid of the evidence. The reason why you do it, because you don't want the evidence of your sin. You understand what I'm saying? That's how David got in trouble. So be careful. And so if you want this album to be successful, talk to God. Repent. Pray. Fast. Hush, shut up. You talking too much and it's getting you in a bigger mess. You need to go on a prayer and you need to go on a fast. You need to go on a silent spree. Silence and prayer. And if anybody bringing up questions, I got an album, pray for me. We dealing with a situation. Just pray for me. I'm doing an album. Sing, pray, fast, go home. You don't need to be doing no more interviews because you don't know how to do it. You ain't trained enough to do it. You think you know it all, and it's messing you up. It's messing you up. And your husband's supposed to be the head. He's a weak head because he's too busy putting his head in other women. So he's already compromised. And this is why women, when you attach yourself with these no good trifling men, it brings you down. Because a marriage, that is a one unit. That is a teamwork. If one of the person is compromised, it destroys the entire marriage. It makes you look bad. So that's why you got to be careful who you walk down the aisle with. I don't give a damn if you've been married for 50 years. If he's trash, you need to cut that loose because it's messing up your bag. It's messing up your business. You know what I'm saying? And he just out there just being all wild, just all in this business, all his dirty laundry, just all out there. And then he lied. Well, we got a lawsuit. We gonna be suing. And then she cried, it's an open relationship. They didn't even got their lives together. He want to sue. It's legal. She get up on her live crying and talking about we got an open relationship. Sit down. They ain't on one accord. At least if you gonna lie, get your lies in order and y'all tell the same lie. Y'all not even communicating with the lies. She going one way, the husband going another way. And then talk about, I just want to respect my mother-in-law. You should have respected your wife by not cheating on her and telling these women to get rid of the evidence. And now you want to, I just want to respect my mother-in-law. You don't respect her, your wife, mother-in-law, or your children. So sit down, liar. Then you bring, I just want to respect her. I ain't got nothing to say. But then you call Tasha K. And if you keep saying, I've been in this business for years, if you've been in this business for years, you know Tasha K in this business got a label on her that she lied. She been sued for lying. Cardi B took her to court. Cardi B cried because of the lies. And you supposed to be so involved in the industry, and you get on the phone with a blogger, Tasha K? You a fool. And you keep saying, I've been in this business. And then the husband, Rocky, he tell the brat, you know me. You know who I am. You know me. And the brat said, I don't know if you got the infidelity. I don't know if you cheat. I don't know you like that. She got to expose another lie in real time. He trying to make it seem, yeah, you know me, the brat. No, she don't. She don't know you like that, how you be cheating, tell them, get rid of the evidence. No, she don't know that, liar. And she exposed you. That brat just was exposing them. It was embarrassing. I felt bad. And then she got embarrassed, and then she want to go on her live and cry. Because the interview she did with Ricky Smiley, they trying to change it up. I just want to apologize to Kandi, and all I want to do is sing. No, you don't. You evil and you jealous. See, jealousy, that thing, if you don't get through jealousy quick, it will tear you down. Jealousy, I've been there. Oh, I've been there. I've been jealous. Oh, yes, I have. And jealousy, it will get in your bones. It will get in your, every time you see that person, your whole aura in direct, because you jealous, it's in you. Your lips, it's all that, because that jealousy, because the life you want, somebody else is living the life, and because you can't believe in yourself and believe that you can do it, you trying to take it out on Kandi. It ain't my fault you don't know how to write a hit. And that's that jealousy. She needs to ask God, deliver me from that lying tongue, this cheating husband, and this jealous spirit. Thank you so very much for the super sticker. I know y'all been sending me super chat. Thank y'all so very much. All the people that send it. You need deliverance. I had to come out and say, oh, I'm jealous. I got that jealous spirit. It was on me hard. I couldn't hardly more. I was so jealous. I had to get through it. And I said, I don't have to be jealous. I'm talented. And then God truly opened up doors for me. And so that's what she have to go through and admit and repent of her jealous ways. And say, forgive me, Candice. I'm just jealous. I need help. I'm jealous. I need deliverance. I'm hurt that your career took off the ground and mine didn't take off the ground. I got to sing gospel. Ain't nothing wrong with singing gospel. But Kandi sung gospel, and it was a #1 hit on the billboards. This woman, LaTocha, got a full rollout with Motown. They got a tour bus with her album. Don't make no sense because they focus on SWV and a show. So whoever is her marketing team, they stuck in the 90s. Who in the world gonna spend all that money on a tour bus with her album, and all she talking about is Kandi, her sister stealing money, and hardly ever she talking about the conversation with God. You got a whole tour bus that's supposed to be about a conversation with God, and all you talking about, Kandi can't sing. She lied because she ain't sing lead. You stuck in the 90s. Here you are. That's how I know she jealous. You got a deal in 2023. 2023. You still bitter and mad and jealous of stuff that happened in the 90s. Honey, get over what happened to you in the 90s. You supposed to be focused on the conversation with God that's supposed to drop on Good Friday. That's what you supposed to be focused on in 2023, that envy and jealousy. It's like sister and brother. Envy and jealousy. It's coming out April the 7th on Good Friday. You too busy talking about Kandi, your sister stealing money. I don't know. We need to talk. We need to talk. Ain't none. When you going to talk about that album? I'm just waiting on you to talk about the conversation with God. I'm playing your songs, and then all I get through playing your song, go to your interviews, you crying, talking about you have open marriage, your husband lying, he talking to Tasha, mess. Not one thing about the album. Nothing. Nothing about the album. Nothing about you singing vocals. Nothing about you on a tour singing, going viral for singing your gospel hits. It's all about Escape, and you didn't get your deal. And Kandi got hers, and you didn't get yours. You stuck in the 90s. So Motown, y'all made a terrible decision giving this chick a gospel contract. She would come out better getting a R&B, rap, beef. It fits that narrative. But you should have kept that contract and gave it to somebody else. Gave it to somebody else. She ain't focused. She too busy stuck in the 90s. She stuck when Kandi got her deal, when she didn't get her deal, and she mad because I was singing lead. You talking about in the 90s when I was about 19 years old. I'm 32 years old. You talking about stuff when I was about 9, 8, 7, 6 years old. All right, so and still, all the momentum she could have had with this album went out the window. All the potential momentum she could have had singing and going on tour and going to churches and singing around this country. Black China is getting more positive press talking about the Lord than somebody that got a gospel contract. Whoever is behind, because I know she got a staff, she ain't thinking about herself. She got somebody in there that say, you know what, Black China, you being a stripper, that ain't cool no more. Get with the Lord. And whoever is behind it, Black China, and you know what, Black China, we ain't gonna call you Black China no more. We gonna call you Angela White. Black China, she went on Chairman Hall in all white. Looking good, smelling good, smiling. And then they tried to get a beef with her and Tamron Hall. And then Black China was like, I didn't see nothing wrong. She did a good interview. And then she started getting scriptures and she started praying. That is what LaTocha needs to be doing. Quote lyrics of her music. She too busy trying to get all ratchet. Baby, Black China got baptized. She releasing the filters and fillers out of her face. She coming Angela White looking good. Getting all this positive press. You get somebody that got a gospel album showing up in a tour bus, but ain't on tour. You bet. I can understand you got a tour bus. You going to storefront churches. You going to Kojic churches. You are all in the Baptist churches. You in there singing. Just showing up, going to the house, singing in your tour bus. Praising God. But you gossiping about a group that you was in the 90s. A whole tour bus that cost thousands of dollars. You wasting time with editors and camera crews to expose Kandi. How is that helping your gospel career? A conversation with God. How is that the invitation, a conversation with God? So Angela is getting a church bag, and you somewhere still bitter and mean. On a whole tour bus, ain't talking about your gospel album, talking about Kandi, your sister, your mama, and you doing the show. Honey, you agreed to do the show. And see, I've done reality TV. And whenever they put that show out, I already know I done trashed my mama. I trashed my brothers and sisters. I trashed people in that show. So I can't be shocked. I understand they edited all wrong. They pulled clips out. Well, you should never did the show, honey. You almost 50-something years old. You don't know what, and this ain't your first rodeo. You ain't no new artist. You know how they do in these reality shows. How you trying to act, oh, dumb, I didn't know. They edited it out. They edited it out. Of course, honey, you don't own it. You don't have creative control of the show. So why would you agree to do it? You would have came out better doing the gospel show with Carlos King. And you could have helped Brianna over there, Fred Hammond's daughter. Because she getting dragged over there, grown in gospel. You need to be over and grown in gospel. And then I understand they cut out the clip. I said to cut it out. Pathetic. So I can't get mad at the producers. I act real ignorant in that show. Real ignorant. And I can't be shocked. Hey, producers, y'all cut me out of clip. Y'all didn't cut me out. Y'all cut it wrong. Can't get mad. I act ignorant. And yes, and some stuff, I get it. You take these reality shows and you forget you said it. I did a reality show. They post a clip. I forgot half the stuff I said in them confessionals. I'm just in the moment. I'm drunk. I wasn't drunk, but I'm drunk on life. I'm drunk in the situation. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't high or drunk. I was just, it was a drug. Baby, them cameras on, I acted a plump food. I delivered it for the cameras. So whenever, I'm just putting it out there so I can't get mad. So whenever that show do come out, I can't get mad. Oh, he dragged his mama and did his mama. I can't get mad. I can't get mad. I did it. I can't get mad. So I've done it. And I know how the producers roll. And I know how they edit and stuff. I get it. But you can't get mad because you signed up for it, honey. You should have did Grown in Gospel, or you should have did On Your Road doing your conversation with God, a docuseries about you working on your gospel album. But if you had people around me in your corner, you could have hired me. I could have helped you out. But you too busy got your husband controlling that. He ain't good and helping you and driving you in this gospel industry. That's a whole nother industry like country, gospel. It's hard to crack in those industries. You got to have the right people that live and breathe gospel. All right? That's different. Gospel industry is different than R&B. What works in R&B industry may be totally different in the gospel industry. All right? I'm breaking it down. And the reason why we using Black China as example, because whatever she's trying to do, whether she's trying to be a preacher, I ain't going to be shocked if she want to be a preacher or motivational speaker. I'm not going to be shocked saying, Bishop TDJ, I want everybody to stand. This woman was a stripper. Black China was on the stripper pole. And now God have done some amazing things. God have done it. Get ready, get ready. I told you, people of God, she was on the stripper pole. And now she's polling for Jesus. She was making it rain for the devil. And now she's making it rain for God. Come on up here and tell her what's going on. Yes, Bishop. I'm here, and I was a prostitute, but I'm holy. I got all the wicked ways. She's getting that bag, and people, they're going to give. Oh, I love you, Sister White. I love you so much, sister. I'm sending you some money. Oh, I want you to come to my church. I want you to come and talk to the young sisters. She going to have a book, Black China, from the stripper pole to the Lord's pole. All right, bringing people to the Lord's pole. And getting books, people getting holy, getting saved, coming there, and then you're going to still see this chick, LaTocha, crying about Escape, that Kandi got mad at her singing lead. Angela getting all the church bags. She getting all this momentum. And this chick that got a gospel backing and owning her masters, that could be a lie, but she too busy talking about Kandi can't sing. You know what? Okay. So when prophetess Angela White do her first message, I'm going to be right there giving my tithes and offering, all right? I'll be right there. Go ahead, Angela. Preach it. Tell it. Tell your testimony. Tell it. I'm going to be right there. So that's all I'm trying to say, y'all. Okay, I was very passionate about this. I had to be very passionate about this, and I understand her husband. He don't like me. He can't stand my guts. I heard he can't stand me, but I'm gonna keep it real because he watches everybody. He just can't stand me because I'm a man and I speak to his character. He's a weak man. He needs to go to a training on how to be a leader in his home. Because I look at you shameful. You are a shameful, pathetic man. You talk a good game, but your character is weak and pathetic and trash. All right? And Tasha K just exposing you, doing ping pong with you. And your wife sitting there with that look on her face. And I know you hurt, sister, because we ain't talking about your music. We talking about your wicked behavior. So, sister, I want you to listen to me. First of all, I want you to go on a fast. I want you to stop talking to the media. I need you to surround yourself with praying women and pray. You ain't got to tell people your business. Just say, pray for me and pray and fast and open up your book and read the word. Get involved in the word. Talk to your sister. Get a spiritual leader to talk and get that worked out privately and watch God change things in your life. All right? Let's move on. Do that. Get that worked on. Pay your sister back that money. Give it to her with interest. You know you did it. Tiny Mama went sitting that line, got Tiny Mama. That's Tiny Mama all up there. Yeah, babe. I did the checks, man, went over there to Sound Exchange, and Sound Exchange said you're going to have to prosecute in order to get your money back. And I got the camera all in Tiny Mama's face. I didn't like that. I didn't. Because why y'all got Tiny Mama in there? She ain't no YouTuber. She ain't in the man. Got her all up on there. They said you're going to have to prosecute. You're going to have to prosecute. Got the mama all up on, got the camera all up in her face. I didn't like that. I don't want to get no camera in my mama's face like that. That's up between y'all sisters. Went there and yeah, got to prosecute. I did child shame. She did a good deed. She did a good deed. Got the camera all up in mama's face. Bad quality. Wasn't even crystal HD. All in her house. Got Miss Diane all in. Leave that lady alone. That lady look like she could make a good 3-piece fried chicken and apple pie. It look like she won't want to be in that mess. Got that lady all up in there, all up in her face, that bad quality. Got that phone up in that mama face, up in there. I said, what they got that phone in them? I didn't like that. I said, this y'all bringing in all these messy folks. And Tamika, either you gonna press charges, you hush you. You doing all that, you come out better just pressing some charges. Got the camera bad, all up in mama's face. You see all them wrinkles. I don't want to see mama out there. Got at least wait till mama get some good on makeup. You couldn't even wait till mama get a good glam squad. Got mama with the wrinkles, showing all up in there with the Sound Exchange, and all up here. I didn't like that. I ain't like that. No. Don't be putting my mama out there and on a bad hair day, hair all wrinkles. No, let her get a good wig. They could have called Tay to get on a good gray wig, nice little dress. Got that camera all up in that woman's face like that. I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all. I ain't like that at all. I said, they got this woman mama up in here, and she was just doing a good deed. It ain't mama's fault that your sister's a thief. Woo! It ain't her fault that sister's a thief. When I go home, I lock up my driver's license, ID. I take it with me. When I go to the restroom, I'm taking my wallet. I don't trust nobody, not even my own family. I lock everything down with multiple passcodes and everything. I left these Beats headphones at the table, and my nephew stole it, and I was this close of calling 911, pressing charges, and go all the way to the courts. And I didn't do it because he's about 10 years old and everything like that, and I had to use some wisdom and everything like that. I got my headphones back, but I was this close calling the cops, getting them locked up. Don't you steal from me, thief. But God said, don't do it. Don't do it. You got your headphones back, hide it, lock it up, and everything. Now, when I go there, I got to travel, take it all in the restroom. I got to take everything with me, lock up everything. I got to sleep with everything because you got some thieves. I didn't like that. And I understand my nephew, and I tried to tell him. I said, there's one thing you have to do, Uncle Marquise, is steal. If you need anything, if I got it, I do it. If you ask me, say, hey, I want some headphones, I'll buy you the headphones. I'm not stingy, but don't steal from me. Don't do it. Don't be a thief. But I understand he been raised wrong, so I had to give him some sympathy. But I was this close to calling the cops. I was about to be a Karen. But I knew it. I was this close, but I understand he ain't been raised right, so I had to spare him. But I was this close, getting ready to call the cops. Don't steal my headphones. All right? I work hard for these headphones. I did. I work hard for them. They was expensive, about $200. Work hard for them. Don't steal. And he hid it under the bed. So I said, whoever found my headphones, I give him $100. And he found it just like that. And talking about my little baby. And I got his haircut and stuff. He said, you going to give me my, I did $20. I said, no, it's going to your haircut. And I said, $20. And he found them headphones. He said, you going to give me this? I said, it went to your haircut. And it had taper. Give me my headphones. Steal from me. I would have called the cops in a second. Anyway, so now I know when I go and travel, I got to go to a hotel. I didn't like that at all. I said, when he coming, I don't like that at all. I ain't like that at all. So next time when I come, I'm back working. I'm be in a hotel. All my shit going to be locked up in safes in the hotel and bringing nothing. I'm just showing, hey, family, how y'all doing? And I'm leaving because we got some thieves. I can't be around a thief. Can't do it. Anyway, let's move on. Okay. Now, that was that. I love my nephew. I get it. I love him. And I will raise him. But they don't want me to raise him because they think I want to file him on my taxes. You know, these people are so weird. I will raise my nephew because he need a good father figure in his life. But my brother don't want it. We don't want it to happen. But I understand. All right. Okay, let's move on. Okay. I raise him up to be a good man. Need a good father figure. All right. We can make a bag, have a family channel, make a bag. Play basketball, put them in football, put them in Espanol. They got a lot of great stuff in Dallas. And, put them in good school, put them in good tutoring, learn different languages, teach them about stocks and bonds and stuff like that. Teach them about camera equipment editing. He'll be put to work. All right. But they don't want that. I had to pull it back. So I do what I can. All right. Let's get to T.S. Madison. Now, give me a second here. I know y'all here for the T.S. Madison tea. All right. So we are here. Let everybody know that we are here. And across my desk, T.S. Madison and this brother that you see on your screen here posted something on here. And everybody has been sending me stuff on my DMs about this brother. And his name is Tommy Dickey. Okay. He's an actor, Tommy Dickey. All right. Go by CALEN Meeks. All right. Kalen K Meeks. But brother Tommy wrote a post. And the post said this: when I met T.S. Madison, it was a horrible experience. I was invited over to that house as I thought was an audience member. Then the next thing I know, I was performing. While I was there, I was constantly rubbed up on disrespectfully sexually. It was extremely uncomfortable. I wind up lying and leaving early. This was a horrible experience. At the real T.S. Madison, a disgusting person. I get paid nothing for that sexual harassment but embarrassment. You have an audio of me singing on your podcast. I was not paid for anything. Hashtag TS Madison. Hashtag disgusting. All right. We reached out to that brother. He have not responded for a comment. But Armand tried to warn us about T.S. Madison because she hired a person that allegedly took advantage of a woman, of a man, and did some things, and she hired him to be a co-host. So when I saw the video, I was disgusted. It was sexual harassment. It was touching all up on him. He was an audience member. He was not an official co-host. She brought him on there, did not get consent. It was very nasty and disgusting. And this woman, here she are taking pictures at Glad, and here she are rubbing on there. And I do believe that she need to answer to these allegations. You cannot invite somebody in your home and then you take their shirt off and you just rub all on their body. You don't do stuff like that. You get consent. You sign a contract. You say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have you take off your shirt. We're going to rub on you. We put it in the script. And you go over where you don't just do that. That's wrong. That is disgusting. You don't do that. That's not cute. And people will say, well, that's what he do. I don't care if that's what this brother Tommy does in his personal life. He does a job. If you want that, then pay him for that. Get it in contract, get it in writing, but don't have me come to your house in that basement and then you bring me in front of the cameras and rub all on my body. And then people will say, I wish she would have said something quicker. When you have abuse, when you've been sexually assaulted, you can't tell the victim when they should and should talk. No, he talked now. And he have every right to give his opinion about what happened. And I called people around. I said, bros, the media company, Gabrielle Union, are y'all going to make a statement because she's supposed to be such an activist and she's been accused of sexual assault? Should it be an investigation? I think they should halt the movie with Netflix, honestly. But I don't think they should do it until we get a full-fledged investigation and we get a public apology or a statement. That's not good. You rubbing all on that man, touching all on that man. You don't do that without his permission. You don't just bring him up in front of the camera. You don't just bring him on your podcast, touch it all up on you. That's wrong to do. That is so wrong to do. And I do believe that it should be a full investigation. And she should make a statement and apologize for what she did to Brother Tommy. Apologize for what she did to brother. He goes on Instagram, CALEN Meeks, Kalen K Meeks, MEEKS. All right. Definitely, he's a TV entertainer, seen on BET Plus, All Cleans Mans as a character J. I'm a book, not a chapter. That's what it is. Now, he's been very critical of trans women. And I want to read some of those tweets, what he wrote on his Twitter. Very, very critical. And that's his prerogative. Those are his thoughts, though his views are not my views. Okay? But this is what he said on his Twitter account. And I want to go scroll down here. And the brother said this, because he goes by on Twitter at CALEN Meeks. Kalen Meeks. He said this quote, "You don't steal from somebody, I don't care how many years it's been. You don't sexually harass and molest somebody on set and get away with it. I don't care how many years it has been. T.S. Madison needs help and prayer for karma. A bunch of important people don't like it. It is a fact I'm red and free, and y'all stay in those pink shackles of bondage and mind control, and I'm going to make sure that everybody that ever did something to me, I'm going to call you out with evidence. The F I got to be quiet for. You ain't getting away." Okay? Then also, the brother said on his Twitter account, he said, "It was uncomfortable. A very, very uncomfortable situation on set. You want to make sure that you keep your composure because obviously someone who can't keep their hands to themselves wants to feel on somebody's body without their permission. Doesn't have any self-control." He also said on Twitter, "I'm not pleasing a group of police cult who don't like me already. I am red and free. Sorry, you got the bad deal." Okay. And so he just went on and on and on Twitter responding to T.S. Madison. Nobody have came out with a statement, but I said I come out with a statement and I said it's wrong. She need to apologize because you just cannot bring a person on your show and just rub all on their body. Can't do it. I personally have to change some things on my show with it. And I talk to the guests and say, hey, are you comfortable talking about sex on the show? Because we get into that. And, you know, I do either you say yay or nay because everybody ain't comfortable talking about that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very careful. I've done a show with somebody and they got drunk on the show and they start talking about how they had sex with Jason Lee, how they had sex with the guy that was on the guy that was on death row, and the sex was so good, it was incredible, and the boyfriend got mad at me and at his boyfriend. Got mad. And then Jason Lee called him and said you should have never did the Wiley Show. But it ain't my fault that you got drunk and started talking. And that's why we do those interviews virtually. Because we ran into some things when we did shows. People would come and they get drunk, don't remember what they did, and they just start blabbering. And so now we do it virtually. I rarely bring people in my house unless I really know you. Rarely bring it because, and if I do, now when I bring guests on virtually, most of the chasing virtually. You ain't come here drinking unless I know you. Because my show is growing, you know, it's everything virtual. So if you get sloppy drunk virtually, and just spill your beans virtually, you ain't gonna be in my house and then come up with some rumors and allegations. No, we are already installing cameras, and when I ever bring guests back into my house, cameras everywhere, cameras in the restroom, cameras in there. You sign a consent for everything is streamed, everything is cameras everywhere, cameras outside, cameras everywhere. When we do ever bring back in-person interview, cameras everywhere, consent form side and everything and stuff like that. And cameras, you will be recorded from the time you step foot in this place until the time you leave. All right? Because we want to bring back in-person interview. All right, because you got to protect yourself. It is what it is, especially when you with the girls. These girls, child, they get drunk, they don't remember what they did. So you got to protect yourself. It is what it is when you do stuff like that. But T.S. Madison definitely need to apologize, okay? And it was definitely a good interview. Now I ain't gonna put cameras in my restroom. I'm sorry. Did I say in my restroom? I have camera. I for myself. I'll record myself in the restroom. I ain't gonna put cameras in my restroom. I ain't gonna put camera, but it's gonna be everywhere. Living room, every cameras everywhere. Ain't gonna be in my restroom. My pictures is in my restroom, but ain't gonna be no camera. But everywhere you go, cameras. My refrigerator cameras.